This is a quick video on showing you how to use Graph Editor to change the motion of an object. The question that was posed was, how would you make a camera ease up into its final keyframe, as in basically gradually come to a halt rather than slam into keyframes. So with that in mind, we're looking in top view, and we've got a little car, which is the item highlighted just here, and we're going to go and animate it. So with auto key switched on frame 0, that's where it's going to start, and at frame, let's change the end frame to 200. Okay, and at frame 200 it's going to end up in front of this sign here. So with auto key still on, I'm on frame 200, it's going to drag over and end it there. Okay, so what we've got now is, it basically, how does it end? Well, I don't know. I need to look at my graph editor to find out how that's ending. So it needs to be in my, I think it's in my X direction we're looking at here. I think that's going across in X. Well, in fact, I wouldn't know if I could probably see properly. Doesn't actually tell me my top viewport. How interesting is that? Not that interesting. Right, so let's have a look in Graph Editor. So it's only moving in one direction, so we should be able to see what's going on with this. So Graph Editor for the current item. As you can see at the moment, my position, you might not be able to see, you will now, it is X that is moving along, and you'll see that how it works is basically going at whatever it is, say 10 miles an hour straight away, and it ends literally hitting a brick wall at 10 miles an hour, and that is less than ideal. What you want to do is you want to start the animation off and move up to a certain speed and then slow down again. Now it's really easy to do, and Graph Editor is really good because it shows you literally a graphical representation. See if we can make that smaller. Graphical representation of how this is working. So I've got this particular item showing up in the graphic. And just to make sure you know what we're doing, let's close it down again. Now, it's whatever item you have selected. If you press the Graph Editor button, that is a graph for that item that's selected. Okay. Now, it's only showing position X because we've only got a keyframe in the X out of the XYZ in heading, pitch, and bank. So that's the only thing that's showing up, which is sort of good. Now, to sort this out, really easy. I'm going to, with my right-hand mouse button, select and drag out and let go. That's going to select that keyframe here. You can see that in frame 0 its value in X is 90 point blah blah blah. Let's just round that out to 90. So cool. And then we've got the type of incoming curve is TCB spline. And all we're going to do, we can change the tension down to 1. So just type 1 in and hit enter. And you can see now that that's now curving in, isn't it? Yeah, it's now accelerating out of that keyframe. Okay, and then when it hits the other keyframe, it hits the other keyframe like it hits a brick wall. So you need to go and slow that down as well. So let's go and do that. So right hand click, drag over this, let go. Okay, we've now selected that keyframe. You see that that's at frame 200. The value is 59, minus 59. Let's make that minus 60, just to round it off. Minus 60 meters. TCB spline again, and the tension on that is 0. Let's make that 1 as well. And you'll see now that we accelerate out, get to a certain speed, and then we decelerate down to 0. Okay, and we'll close that down now. Right, so what we've got now, you can probably see, we can zoom in a little bit more maybe. There we go. You can see that the keyframes, let's look at the end keyframes. Let's look at these keyframes down here. And we're going to put this in front face wireframe so we can have a really good look. And we'll center that up and zoom in. Now if we zoom in enough, let's uncenter that, we can see what's going on here. We've got more keyframes, little ticks here. More frames are at the end of this then they get more and more spaced out. That's telling me that this is faster and this is getting to be slower. So it's a visual representation in the viewport as well. Now if you can't see this, let me go to over options and display. Let me just make sure we've got everything switched on. So the thing you need to go and switch on is general. Show keys in slider. Yep. Let's not find that guy. OpenGL. So there we go. So in OpenGL, show motion paths. Okay, if I untick that, then I can't see this motion path, so I've got to tick it to show it. So if you can't see the motion path, you need to go to your OFA options, and in your OpenGL tab, click on Show Motion Paths. Okay, just want to make sure you can see that. And that basically is that. Pretty simple, really. So, and that goes for any type of object. So if you need this to, if you see this, these last few frames hardly moves at all, does it? And it's going to come to a halt. Yeah. So if I go and drive it from, if I go and zoom back a bit here, and I go and hit play from now here, it sort of slows down to a halt. Okay. Simple as that. So full force and then slows down. So that is how to sort keyframes out. Now that also goes for let's hit stop on that. It also goes for rotations. If you need to rotate something, it needs to spin up, as in it needs to get that initial speed. That's what you need to do. And conversely, if you need a constant speed, you'll take your tension down to 1, get a nice straight line for a rotation, and then that equals it's the same velocity all the time. Simple as that. And that is that then. So that's pretty simple to organise that out. Same with cameras and whatever. The only other thing I would chuck into this is when you're setting out things, let me go to the camera view. So let's go and select the camera and go top view. So this is 2 for top view. If I'm trying to set up an animation where I want to, basically I've got it pointed in a certain direction and I want to animate along this line along here, that's going to be sort of semi-tricky how we're working at the moment, because we're working in world space. That means that the X and Y is in world space on this particular item, and what I want to do is I want to actually put it into local space, so I can just go and drift my camera in the direction it's pointing in, which isn't obviously these guys. So let's sort how we do that then. So if we go to items and we go under motions and motion objects, I've got my interface crunched right now for this video. All I need to do is change it from, let's go down to motion options, under more, coordinate system. If I put it into local space, if I actually put it into local space, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? So coordinate, local space. Okay, you'll see now that my XYZ transform gizmo is changed to actually face the objects. If I need this camera to zoom in, then I can go to frame 200, okay, and I can literally click on here and zoom it in, so he's here, okay, and that's good. Apart from at the moment he just slams in, doesn't he? So let's go and sort that out. You know, we've got plenty of time. Let's go to graph editor, and now you'll see that we've got more than one channel working, because we're actually how the channels are working are on world space. So we need to go and organise a few of these things. So let's go and hit all of these guys. I'm going to go right angle mouse click and drag out on these. So I've got 3 selected here. Tension, set it to 1. Go right hand click, select on these guys, and that's already set to 1, so that's good. Just make sure they're all to 1. Okay, and close that down now. So what happens now is this camera now comes in and slows up into that. Okay, so go into 0 view, slows up. Okay, the only other thing I need to do really is, now here's another thing, go 1. You'll now notice that the camera lifts up because the camera is slightly pointing upwards and I was in local space. As I dragged it along, it went also up in the same direction as well. So you need to go sort that out. So all I'm going to do with that is I'm going to go here, I'm going to go to coordinate system world, okay, and all I'm going to do is drop this camera down. So end up dropping the camera down to there. Go to 6, see what we're looking at. We're looking good. Just check. Yeah, we're looking good there. That's good. And then I'm going to go to graph editor just to check we're still cool. We still look cool on those. They look all good. Okay, we'll close that down, and that is it really. So that's it. So a few things to be aware of, the graph editor, and also what coordinate system you're playing in. If you're unsure about coordinate systems, well, I can go through it again on a different video. And that is that. See you later. Cheers. Bye.